Welcome, welcome back, welcome to your final year here with us in Reading, or somewhere near to Reading, hopefully. I'm talking to you from my kitchen in Didcot, not in Reading, it's not my office, my head of department office in the Department of Economics, but welcome nonetheless. It's possibly a fourth year, because perhaps you've been away for a year on a placement or overseas, and if so, welcome back from that. Welcome back to the university. Welcome back to your university studies. If you happen to come across this because you've gone on placement or gone overseas, you're welcome to listen in. It won't be that relevant for you because it's going to be about the final year when you're with us in Reading, but there will be another message for you in a year's time or so. And hopefully it'll be a message I can deliver in person. I'll also record a separate message for those of you going out on placement and those going overseas too. The most important thing, though, regardless of physically wherever you actually might be, is that you are with us. Okay, you're with us. You're part of our community. It's a virtual community as much as a physical one for the time being. That's just the nature of the current situation, sadly. And of course, you'll be well aware because you've been with us for the past 6 months. It's been a crazy 6 months. You'll recall, early March, things were starting to go a little bit pear-shaped, and from mid-March, we had to stop all of our face-to-face teaching. We went online fairly quickly for the end of the spring term. Into the summer, of course, we had exams online. But we got through, and most importantly, you got through and you succeeded. You did your exams online, some of you from very difficult places, poor internet connections, no desk to actually work on, all sorts difficulties, no access to the library with the books that you needed. Despite all of that adversity, all those difficulties, all the stresses with a global pandemic, you got through. You showed resilience. You did it. And we're really proud of you, and we're delighted that you did. We're delighted that you're back with us. And that resilience, well, that's something that we're really keen to leave you full of as much as we can when you finish your time with us, when you finish your undergraduate degrees with us. You don't get born with this thing called resilience, this ability to bounce back in the face of all that the world will throw at you. You do your time as an undergraduate student as well. This is a fundamental time in your lives, a really formative time. And you've been developing it so far while you've been with us. That much is really clear from the way in which you all dealt with the pandemic. You kept in touch as well, which I was really thankful for. You kept in touch with me, told me about how things were for you. And that kind of thing helps us to adapt, to change the ways in which we're doing things, because we are not students. We are a good few years older than you. And so we don't have the same kind of experience that you've had. And so we need to know a little bit more about it, if possible, in order that we can react to it. So thank you for having kept in touch with me so well over the past 6 months. Now, of course, it's worth saying that it may not feel great to you. We got through all that stuff, but it didn't feel great. Maybe you actually feel you're just about hanging in there, just about managing. And that kind of feeling, that real not knowing where things are, where you are in the grand scheme of things, it's more common than you think, and you're certainly not alone in that. And also, thankfully, you're not without support. If you're feeling like that, you're always welcome to get in touch with me. Your academic tutor is there as well, if you want to talk to them. And there's loads of support that the university offers. Head on to the Essentials page. There's lots of stuff there about supporting your well-being. And it's not cheesy stuff. It's not stuff that you should never really admit to. By admitting to these kinds of things, this is the way in which we can start to build up that resilience, to work out what's going on and try and make sure that we can get through whatever it is. We are here to support you as you go through your journey as students with us. Unfortunately, this doesn't help the situation, but it's not appropriate at the moment to have you knocking on our actual doors in the department, especially as the restrictions yesterday were increased by the government as the second wave appears to take hold. It doesn't mean you can't get hold of us, though. An old-fashioned email still works, and via Teams. If you call our office landlines now, they come through to our laptops, wherever we happen to be. So if you do need to get hold of your academic tutor, you're able to. It will come through as a call onto their laptop. Obviously, respect their office hours, the working hours. But please do get in touch if you need to. Now, of course, you could be doing just fine, and in that case, that's really great, and we're delighted as well. Still do make use of your academic tutors, though, because we are that point of contact for you. Someone you can ask for advice about things, whatever things are important for you at this point. Maybe you're starting to think about the next step already, what you're going to do for a job once you've finished with us. If you've been thinking about it, that's great. You might want to use your academic tutor for a reference, and that reference will be that bit better, the better that you know your academic tutor, and therefore the better that they know you. So it's really good to be in touch with your academic tutors, touching base every now and again. And speaking of what comes next, this year is a big year for you. You don't need me to tell you that, of course. You knew that already. Now, I also know that when I entered my third year, I just didn't want to really think about what was going to happen next. I was enjoying my time, actually, by the third year. I was loving being at university and didn't want to think about what was going to happen next. But you do need to start thinking about it, because it's going to come around sooner than you think. And you've got loads of great resources within the school and within the university. You've got Tina and Panima within the school, giving you great support on placements and on careers. And within the Career Centre, Vicky looks after us in Spear, and she's doing a great job giving you all sorts of opportunities and support and guidance as you start to think about that. Make an appointment with any of them and have a good chat about it. Even if you've thought nothing about it, they can help you to start making thoughts. You'll hopefully have seen an email from Simon a few weeks back, an email that I sent about a digital mock assessment centre. 21 of you have signed up for it already, which is fantastic. We've got 50 places on this course. It ran last year, and the students did last year said it was fantastic for them. It's an event that's going to give you a real boost when it comes to getting a job. It's going to be a challenging year to get a job. Let's not beat around the bush here with COVID-19 and the effect on the economy. It's going to be a tough year. With this event, you're going to get personalised feedback, and there'll be 3 activities forming the day. There'll be a group task for you to do, a presentation, and an interview that's going to prepare you thoroughly for many of the different aspects of the recruitment process. And it's a tough recruitment process at the best of times, not even thinking about a global pandemic that we're in the. I do also want to flag up with you the possibility of further study, sticking around with us, staying at the university a bit longer. We love having you here. Why not stay a bit longer? Have you thought about studying further, doing a master's degree perhaps? We offer postgraduate degrees here at the university, as I'm sure you're probably aware. We have an MSc in economics, an MSc in business economics, an MSc in economics and finance, and there are a number of other courses within the school run from the politics department. There's a master's in public policy, there's master's degrees in international relations and politics, all sorts of different degrees that you might do. One thing, I don't wish to trivialize this down to the financial side of things, but you do get a discount if you stick around. There's an alumni discount of 10%, and I've got to check this, but this last year there's been a school discount as well of another 10%. I'll be checking on that and make sure that's definitely the case and writing you emails about that. But do think about it. A master's will set you apart in lots of careers. Doing a master's doesn't mean that you're just setting yourself on course to become an academic like all of your lecturers. You're not setting yourself on that course necessarily at all. Lots of great jobs require a master's degree. If you are thinking of being an economist in industry, again, a master's is really going to set you apart. And if you are thinking about being an economist, then do think about a PhD. A PhD, it's not like another few years of being an undergraduate student. A PhD is very much like a job. Your job is to research something. And one of the wonderful things about being an academic is you're your own boss. I get to sit down every morning and think, what am I going to work on today? Within limits, of course. But the average researcher, academic, your lecturers, when they're doing their research, which usually happens in the summer, you are your own boss. You get to decide, well, I think that looks like an interesting topic to study. And then you start to study that topic. That's how academia works. And if that sounds interesting, at least intriguing, look into it a little bit further. Funding is an issue, of course, but funding opportunities do exist. The Economic and Social Research Council, the ESRC, offers studentships for students who are going from having just finished their undergraduate degree to a master's degree and a PhD. There's no requirement you stay on for the PhD, but you can get funding to do that master's course. I've mentioned already the discounts. There are also government loans for doing a master's degree as well. All sorts of opportunities for you to be funded whilst you're doing a master's degree. If you want to talk a bit more about that, I'm more than happy to talk with you about whether or not you want to do some further study. So do give it a bit of thought. That research, as I said, is a central part of what we do as economists. It doesn't just pique our fancy, it contributes in all areas of what we do. It informs our teaching, for example, and especially part 3. Some examples, well, this year we have a new member of staff, Dr. Stephen Storiano, and he's doing behavioural economics, EC343. Stephen has done research in the area of behavioural economics, and when he joined us, he talked about his own research on evaluating the evidence from trial programs. So he's well placed to deliver this lecture course. Hussein Hassan is teaching international economics, EC311, and his research interests are precisely in international economics, how countries interact with each other. Vivian Burrows, she's an urban economist, teaching the urban economics modules. And again, what a time to be thinking about this. What is the town and the city in a time of COVID-19? I'm really pleased that Dr. Neha Hui, who did a PhD with us in Reading under the supervision of Head of School Professor Uma Kampambati on development economics, will teach development economics EC319. She's been a student of ours, she's a member of staff now, a lecturer in the department, and she's teaching this course. She's an expert in the impact of colonialism, slavery, and unfree labour, indentured labour, all of which have greatly shaped patterns of economic development around the world. And so in a time of Black Lives Matter, EC319 is an essential module. And if I had my time again, I'd certainly be taking that one. I'm going to mention one more module before I move on, because I lecture on it. I'm going to be lecturing on it this year, is the Economics of Sport, EC325. This is a module that was set up a few years ago. I taught on it before becoming head of department, and I'm going to be teaching it again this year, sharing it with Carl Singleton. This comes, I'm talking a day after it's been announced there's going to be no fans in stadiums at sports events for the entire sporting season to come. And so what does that mean for football clubs outside the Premier League? Can they survive financially for the next 6 to 9 months? Should there be government support when the Premier League teams have been splashing the cash around? Wolves have just spent £37 million on a player. I wonder how far that could go in the lower leagues of English football. And this summer I've been doing lots of research with Dr. Carl Singleton on the impact of COVID-19 on sport, but also vice versa, the impact of sport on COVID-19. So all of these modules are wholly informed by research being carried out in the department. Research at the cutting edge of the literature, being recognised internationally. Staff in our department have had 44 publications in the current calendar year in 2020 in top journals and publishing houses, more than one a week. And the Royal Economic Society has recognised that too. It's awarded us the Royal Economic Society's annual public lecture for the next 3 years. It's an event aimed at school-age students thinking about choosing economics, but you'll also have access to it. And globally renowned public economist Diane Coyle will be visiting Reading and giving a lecture in 2021 in May. It's research that informs what we do then. It's research that informs the decisions we make and how we teach. And it'll come into how we teach during COVID-19 too. We're a department that adapted to the situation. The lecture content is going to be online, but we did that already, and our NSS scores improved over the summer. We know we're not perfect, and there'll be lots of slips along the way, but your lecture content is going to be online. You're going to have some face-to-face content, as well as lots of other content that you'll be able to access through Blackboard. Please do, as much as ever, keep your eye out for information coming in via emails and on Blackboard regarding all aspects of your teaching in the next few weeks. Because it's not going to be normal, though, is it? And I'm really sorry about that. I'm frustrated about it as well. We'd love to be doing things normally, going to lecture halls, chatting with you all, interacting as we normally do. But we did it in the spring, and we can do it now. Academic tutor meetings, Teams for office hours, and we can do, for example, conversations like we did back in the summer term. So let's keep going. And in these strange times, please be aware of your responsibilities. You'll have heard a few Teams noises in the background, notifications coming in. Please be aware of your responsibilities in this COVID age. In economics, we learn about private costs, private benefits, social costs and benefits, and COVID-19 lays bare one of the best examples of an externality, a big negative one. Private decisions can lead to the spread of a very harmful virus that can really affect us and really affect how we do things. So please do try and factor in those net social benefits when you're making decisions. Please do wear masks when you're in teaching rooms and in enclosed spaces around the university. Please do maintain social distancing, especially on corridors, especially going around the corners on corridors. And please, please, please pay attention to all those yellow stickers. I know they're annoying and they're everywhere, but they're really important. So please do pay attention to them. It's going to be hard, it's going to be frustrating. I hate wearing masks as well, but it's really important if we're going to get to a post-COVID time sooner rather than later. I'm going to be emailing all term with information on a weekly basis, maybe more if events dictate. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you still. Keep it up, please. I've really enjoyed getting emails from you. I don't always manage to reply straight away, but I'll try to. It's really important to know what's going on. I know it's going to be weird. I know it's going to be different this coming year, but it's still going to be a central part of your university experience. And you will remember these times for the rest of your lives. And I'm not pretty confident, I'm very confident that you're going to do great this year.